Hello out there, everybody, especially all you in Brave. This is your Auntie Amoni Panala, and here I am doing a Capsuleer Day event for Capsuleer Day 21. We've got a Treacherous Conduit combat anomaly here, and we're warping to it. So you can find these all over the place, and this is the first step to getting started in the event. So, uh, once you land, you're going to see a wave of frigates, and I am flying in a basic dojo vexor, and I'm going to orbit at 50k around my MTU. Now, technically, you don't need an MTU. I'm just putting one out to give myself something to orbit. There's only going to be one wreck in this whole thing, um, so we're going to not worry about that, but we just want something to orbit. Don't actually need the MTU. If you can manually pilot, that's great. Um, but I don't want to think too hard, so I'm just going to orbit the MTU. These rats are, they favor, or their holes are explosive and EM, so that's what you want to be hitting. I'm using T1 warriors here, and I'm pulling in my drones when I notice that they're taking aggro, because event site rats tend to shoot your drones, which will make you very sad if your drones die, and it'll be embarrassing if you have to go back to where you are staged to get more drones. That's always embarrassing. So we're taking out this wave here. We're bringing in and putting out the drones as needed. And once this last rat dies, we'll bring in... Oh, look, we got a second wave of rats. We're gonna pull in the drones real quick because I want to make sure that these rats are aggroing me and not my drones, so that I don't become a very sad auntie. And now that they're shooting at me, I'm gonna bring out the drones, lock up the rats, do all the things, push all the buttons. I'm sure that folks who do a lot of PvE will tell me that I'm not very efficient, and you'd be right. But I'm not trying to be efficient here. I am trying to show you how to do this um, in the most visually intelligible way possible, and that's not always the most efficient. So we're gonna kill these rats, and once the rats are dead, then we're gonna get one more wave, and then we'll be done. And almost done. So even in a basic T1 cruiser with T1 drones, I'm able to do this. This character is not skilled for doing this kind of ratting, um, so has only the most basic skills for this. Um, and now on our final wave, we have a Kikimora that's already beat to shit, and we're going to fuck it up with some drones. Hooray. The Kiki does hit harder, so it is important to have transversal, whether you're orbiting an MTU, or you're manually piloting, or you're just orbiting the Kikimora. Do be sure that you have your transversal up because it does hit hard. Don't be too scared. This Vexor is basically just the dojo fit, um, and it's cap stable, so even though I am taking damage, I'm not stressed about it because I can leave the repper running and it's totally fine. It's fine. So we're gonna kill the Kiki, And once the Kiki goes down, we'll pick up the loot. This is the only loot that drops is from the Kiki. Some of these sites will have an Edencom cache or an Edencom wreck that you can loot, and that's going to generally have some better loot than what the Kiki drops. Sometimes you'll find skins, sometimes you'll find boosters, things like that. All good things. So keep your eye out for those because they do drop better loot. And when you land on the site, you want to pick those up first before you worry about anything else. Because if you do end up having to warp off, if somebody tries to contest the site, at least you got the really good stuff. And we're going to pick up the loot here. And you can see I'm using an afterburner here, and I wish I had a micro warp drive for this part, because holy shit, do I slow boat just going 900 meters a second, and it doesn't fucking matter because I'm just so goddamn slow. We're gonna do a little time jump here to when I actually get the loot. Oh, there we go. There's the loot. So we got a BPC and some stuff, and we're going to go back to the station, and we're going to build one of these filaments. So this is a sinister filament. This is a combat filament. The other one is called Desolate, and that's an exploration one, where you can go in with a T1 Explo frigate, like a Heron, which is what I do. I just take a Heron. But you've got building materials there that you need. You collect those from the sites that you run. And you're also going to need tritinium and pyrite. And then we're going to build it. It takes 3 minutes. And we're going to time jump again. Okay, so now that it's built, we're going to take the filament and we're going to undock. This is like an abyssal, so we're going to warp to a safe. Do be aware that people can combat scan down your abyssal trace. If you've never done abyssals before, that's just a thing you need to be aware of. If you're not careful, you could have hostiles waiting for you outside the abyssal trace for when you get back. You do need to be in your own fleet. You can't be in standing fleet or anything like that. We're going to jump in. Now, this abyssal is going to give us 30 minutes to complete the site. Inside, we've got a drifter response battleship and a frigate there. We're going to ignore the frigate because the frigate doesn't matter. If you kill the frigate, it will just respawn in a minute or two. So we're just going to ignore the frigate as much as we can. We're going to put out medium drones. I could probably be using heavy drones here, but, you know, whatever. So I'm orbiting this battleship, and I've got my micro warp drive on. I've got my repper running. I am taking quite a beating here. This is not a very good fit for this. This is where something with a little more tank would do a lot better. Anything with better resists than this. I did put on a damage control 2, but even then, it's really not cut out for this. So right now, it's basically a DPS race. I'm overheating my repper. I'm taking a shit ton of damage. This sucks. Definitely fly something with more tank than what I've got here. This fit is intended to rat in nullsec. It is not intended for this, so that's why I'm getting beat to shit. So be sure that you are flying with the right thing. I'm going to have to turn off my heat here because my repper is going to burn out if I don't. And if my repper burns out, I will be very sad and I will definitely die. And then I'll just have to wait till I get potted out. So yeah, this is pretty sketchy, pretty scary. But once the battleship is dead, then none of this matters. Okay, so now the battleship is dead. The gate home, the origin conduit, is completed, and as you can see, I got points towards the overall goals, getting the bigger rewards for the whole event. I'm going to pick up the loot, and I got more building materials. And we're going to head back. Hooray! So yeah, this is pretty sketchy. Definitely take something with a little more tank, but we survived. Hooray! And now we're back into regular space. Alright, thanks for watching.